fateful day has finally come. The CBS Viacom Remerger is on. It won't become official for a few months pending government approval, because with the corporations this big, they got to cover antitrust laws and make sure of that. But I think it shouldn't be a problem, especially since they were previously one company and they had no problem back then. But then things have changed. But I don't expect any problem going through. Now, so let's recap a bit. Once upon a time, there was a rich old man named Sumner Redstone who built up a big old company named Viacom that eventually bought Paramount Studios and then later on bought CBS. He thought, in one point, he thought it was getting too big, and rather than let his bratty kids take it over, he decided to split it down the middle, get all the TV stuff on CBS side and the movie stuff on another thing on Paramount's, on Viacom side. Problem is that you had some, stuff like not just Star Trek, but also Mission Impossible also covered both sides. And I assume we're probably divvy the same way. Paramount has the movie rights, CBS has the TV rights, which in Mission Impossible case is fine. There's not much cross-pollination there, but with Star Trek, you got a problem. Because the movies and the TV shows use a lot of the same actors. And also, they couldn't use the same stuff as before without working out a deal with CBS. In other words, licensing it. Now, since Paramount had been making Star Trek all this time, up since the middle of the second season of the original series, they didn't take well to this whole arrangement. So, but suffice it to say, it was a pain in the ass for all concerned. So now they're back under one roof. Nobody's got to license anything from anybody now. Imagine that, that part of things being torn up as we speak, or at least getting poised over the shredder, once they get the okay from the Fed. So, what does that mean for Star Trek? Well, like I said, it means no more having to change things for the sake of changing them. It's like, because now all that licensing money is going to Viacom CBS, is what they're going to be called. So there won't have to be any licenses. They don't have to change anything. It can all stay canon. They can use original series sets and original actors and original characters, and it's still the same thing. And they can go back to being religiously faithful to the original series. What they do with what's happened since then, though, all the crap that's been in between, resulting because of this split, that's another question. That's a loaded question right there. On the one hand, the accountants are going to point out that, yeah, the JJ stuff did make a ton of money. It also burned out the movie franchise. The fact that Beyond was just an absolute failure domestically, or at least, the JJ movies, they had reached the point of diminishing returns. It was no longer worth it for all concerned to put that much money in, especially, they keep throwing the box office totals. Yeah, especially Campia. Like, look, this is the most money they ever made. No, that's the most they've pulled in, mainly because of inflation. They didn't make that much, though, because, again, these movies were incredibly expensive. One of the things that kept the Star Trek movie franchise going as well as it did is they were able to cut a lot of corners by reusing the same sets a lot of times, and those uniforms are falling apart by Star Trek 6. And it was just keeping the cast happy at that point. But they were made kind of on the cheap. Thankfully, the tech was there; you couldn't really tell. But when you start seeing stock footage with Star Trek 2, they were cutting a lot of corners on that. They were, and the profit margin on them was pretty good because they kept the cost low. JJ blew that out of the water. Whereas pretty much they had to bring in upwards, $500 million just to break even at some point. So I'm pretty sure they were looking like, we can't keep this up very long. So we're going to cut your budget. It's like, what? And then there were no tears cried when the whole thing fell apart. So merger comes along. JJ is gone. He's off to Warner Brothers. He's going to build his empire elsewhere. I think if they got a little strategic thought here and a little creative thought here, because when Sherry Redstone, she considered Star Trek a bit of a family heirloom, and did not appreciate the way it's been treated by CBS. So there's a little bit of payback coming in here too. I think what would be nice to happen, it might not. They might do something totally stupid if they've done it before, but make the Quentin Tarantino movie the focal point of when everything gets fixed. I think he would love that, because he was no fan of the JJ timeline. Okay, he didn't like the way they changed around something that made no sense. He couldn't figure it out, and JJ couldn't explain it to him. He said, nobody likes it. Go ahead, do what you want. So I think, and again, now there is no licensing thing to deal with. There is no requirement to make 25%. He can put in Bill Shatner as Kirk. He can bring in their surviving cast members and bring them all together in one big smash up. And he said that last interview he will deal with the Chris Pine timeline. Not set in it, deal with it. Those are very key words. I think he wants to fix this thing because he's a hardcore fan from way back. And so he wants to work on the series. Go right ahead. I think that's exactly what he's going to do. He's got other guys doing all the sciencey stuff, and he's going to put his spin on it. But I think it's going to be some kind of timeline resolution thing where it undoes all the crap that we put up with for now and restore the canon timeline. And if it takes an R-rated Star Trek movie to do that, for God's sake, let him do it. I don't think Gene would have any problems. If it's got to be R-rated, fine. As long as at the end of the day we're back to where we should have been. In fact, I will shoot him a tweet later on, and pointing out the sets in Kingsland. That if at some point you're going to go back to the original series, there's a complete set of the original series sets in Kingsland, Georgia, in a nice little warehouse, very nice people, and very affordable rates too. They only require like $500 in script approval. You could probably get away with just the $500, and the sets are yours to play with, and they are exact replica. And how well they'll stand up to movie camera stuff, they're perfectly fine for watching on the TV or on the computer thing. But I think they do fine. They look fine on camera. They look great on camera. We know that. We've got 11 episodes of stuff and a few vignettes showing those sets look amazing. Okay, especially when you snap them into the 4x3 aspect of the original series. But again, if the part of the thing involves the original series, like, hey, there's your sets right there. At least go down, check them out, See if they can be used or duplicated. Take a lot of pictures, a lot of notes. But this is kind of, again, this is the make or break time now. Because now it's like no more excuses. No more saying, well, if CBS wasn't, no, there's no CBS to hold in the way now. It's all big Viacom conglomeration smush thing. And they, again, it doesn't take a brain science, it doesn't take rocket science to figure out that the property has been very badly mishandled in recent years. It has divided the fan base, right? And especially with Kurtzman and Discovery, it has gotten to fever pitch now. It's not like before. Oh, bald French captain. No, this has gone well beyond. You cannot compare it to when Next Gen or DS9 or other series came on and people grumbled. This is not grumbling about a new series. This is outright rebellion of betrayal of the original series and the shows. So that's why I reject anything about no, this is very different. Okay, yeah. Basically, this is the chance for Tarantino to follow through on the mandate they gave Kurtzman to, unfuck this mess. And this is the kind of big, high-profile, throw a lot of money at it, you can do it at. Because this is going to take something big and massive to totally, unscrew this messed up here. To get this thing unscrewed, and straighten and get us back on one cohesive timeline. Now it is sad that we don't have D. Kelly, Leonard Nimoy, Jimmy Doohan around to fix this thing. Even Majel and gracefully. It'd be nice if they were still around, but unfortunately, you know, time goes on. So we shall see. Now, whether or not this might not be the last Star Trek movie is another question entirely, because you know, where do we go from here? I am told that the folks at CBS and elsewhere do watch these videos. I don't know if I rate that high, but if they do, what the hell? Get Tarantino. This is Tarantino's mission. Unscrew this thing. That is the movie's job right now. To get this thing straightened out. If he can do that, then he can have Sulu and Chekhov drop as many F-bombs as they want. As long as at the end of the day, it's straightened out, we'll be happy. So, on that note, want to send me stuff? Because some people like to send people stuff, and I like getting stuff. This is too close. Address: Captain Robert April, 4046 North Goldenrod Road, number 115, Winter Park, Florida, 32792. PayPal, Patreon, links in the description. And we will get back to you later.